Well, good afternoon. Welcome back from lunch. No sleeping on the job, right? But it's all good if you fall asleep. I don't mind. Sleep is self-care. All right. Let's see. We are going to introduce Miss Janie Stubblefield. She is a master's level LPC. What is the S?
Licensed professional counselor and board approved supervisor.
And supervisor. She's amazing. That's what that means. All right. She has professionally served individuals, families, youth, and children for more than 2 decades through private practice, counseling, and local community service programs. She founded Global Counseling PLLC in 2011 as a supportive therapeutic counseling practice. Janie was supported by Governor Greg Abbott as a professional member of the Texas State Board of Examiners of Professional Counselors in 2018 and currently serves as the chair of the Dallas County CRCG. And I will turn it over to Ms. Janie.
Thank you. So, Miss Jamie, you're going to keep that microphone
yes.
because I'm going to make sure that you don't have to go to the gym later today. And so it's my understanding that that microphone is to help our virtual audience hear anything that those of you who are in the room have to share. So I see a few faces that I saw just before lunch. Welcome back. Thank you. I didn't offend you so horribly that you have run kicking and screaming as far away from me as you can. My name is Janie Stubblefield, and I am a licensed professional counselor and board-approved supervisor, and I'm honored to be with you here today. This, in my opinion, is one of the most critical workshops you will ever go to in your entire career, and I have worked really hard, and we're going to have some fun as we do what we do today. Now, if you've ever been in a workshop with me, you know that I am quite interactive. I like feedback from other participants in the room. I really don't feel like I am any more of an expert than any other person I ever meet on the planet. I just simply get to be in control of this little mic. And so I want to hear from you guys as well. If you've never been in a workshop with me, then welcome to the deep end of the pool. So I'm gonna introduce you to my way of doing things today. A little bit of housekeeping. So on your table, there is a white sign-in sheet that has the logo for the Systems of Care and CRCG. That is your attendance in this workshop today. This is required for you to sign. Please sign that. The green sign-in sheet that says keep in touch, this is mine. This is completely optional. If you would like to connect with me, give me your information. I will take these home, and I promise I will never share your information with anybody, and I will not spam you. But if you would like to connect, please sign the green sign-in sheet. And then I realized I did a poor job explaining this in an earlier workshop, but there are 2 small little handouts here. You may take these. Okay, the larger one, please leave on the table. The little ones you may take. And there are a couple of upcoming workshops that I am going to be hosting next month. So if you need ethics or you need cultural awareness CEUs, then I have some of those workshops coming up. So as I said, as we kind of get going here on counselor self-care, I'm going to need volunteers. Right now, I need 3 volunteers who are willing to come to the front to do a skit. I know, everybody went, I need 3 volunteers. Don't make me voluntold you, okay? One of my new best friends. Yes, Miss Lasagna, come on up. Oh, good, I get to meet a new best friend. What's your name, my friend? Linda. Okay, Miss Lasagna, Miss Linda, I need 1 more volunteer. Jamie, you may certainly do that. Okay. When it's time for us to do the skit, right now I'm just going to, yes, come on, I'm going to prepare you guys. The audience will also understand. And then when we do the skit, which is in fact, we'll probably just go ahead and do it. Okay, so one of you is going to be the counselor, one is going to be the client, and one is a family member. You want to be the family member? You want to be the client? Okay, Miss Jamie, that makes you the counselor. So if you guys will turn it over, I've given you a little bit of instruction there. So in the parenthesis, it says this is kind of like what's happening right now. And then it's underlined and you're gonna say, but I want you to ad lib, okay? A little bit of your response to what's happening there, okay? And then this is what's most important. We're not gonna tell the audience just yet. They'll know it during the skit, okay?
Okay.
And then this is your response after that. Okay? So you guys can go back to your seats. We're gonna do the skit in like 10 seconds, but you can read through your instructions and then when we're going to do the skit, I'll have you guys positioned in different parts of the room. I'll probably have you guys come to the front because of our Zoom audience. Welcome, by the way, to the Zoom audience. So glad you're here. A few things specifically to the Zoom audience so you can participate because I absolutely want you to participate. I shared with the audience in the room, I have Post-it notes here. Those of you who are still coming in from lunch, the purpose of the Post-it note is I want you to write some of your favorite quotes, okay? And write your favorite quotes on the Post-it notes. We're gonna post them on that back wall. If you are here virtually, you can put your favorite quotes in the chat box. And I believe I have somebody who's monitoring the, oh, what, wonderful. I didn't get to meet you earlier, I'm so sorry. What's your name? Sherry's going to be monitoring that chat box for you. So if you have some favorite quotes, when it's time for us to do that activity, then you'll be able to participate in that as well. If you want to pull out Post-it notes wherever you are so you can have your own little Post-it note board, do that as well. I think that's wonderful. Additionally, there are note cards on the table. Here in person. If you are virtual, I want you to get yourself some kind of a note card. This is going to be an activity that we're going to do in just a little while. And then on the table is this ProQOL, which is Professional Quality of Life Scale. And I'm going to take responsibility for this. I know I sent this to our coordinators, and I apparently did not ask them to print them out. So there are a few in the room today, but I believe it should be on your flash drive that you get to take home. And for those of you who are virtual, you should have access to this. I did not create this. Somebody really, really smart, did a whole lot of work to be able to ask these questions so we could all evaluate where we are in terms of our professional quality of life, especially as it relates to burnout. And then another thing on your table are these amazing, that I printed out for free, because I'm all about the free stuff, mandalas. And so if you've ever worked with mandalas, we're going to have a little bit of introduction to mandalas for those of you who have not. And again, if you're virtual, you might want to do just a quick Google search and print out a mandala so you have something that you can, or at least look at it so you know what it is if you don't want to actually do that. If you're here live in person, you guys can go ahead and pick one of the mandalas, and you've got some little twistables. I love twistables. They are matte pencils, the ones that you've been given. And you can start to color your mandala if you want to. Again, that is all optional. This, as you can tell, is a very participatory workshop. So happy to have you here, trapped in the room with me or online virtually. If you need more of anything, you tell me, okay? If there's not enough for everybody at your table to get something, there's more. You need more twistables. I didn't give you enough choices. Is that what you're saying? Is that better? Okay. Anybody else? You need more twistables? Just a couple more colors, I understand. Okay. More twistables to? Yes. Okay, there you go. I love it. You need some more. All the adults in the room are like, I want a color. You are my people. You are my people. You guys need more colors? Okay, I'm about out. I'll give you that. Have one. I have one more.
There we go.
Okay. Is that one good? The box is empty, sorry. Okay. I'm glad I have provided you with something that you are interested in doing. Everybody loves the mandala. Okay. Who is familiar with 988 and can share in the room? Jamie, tell us, what do you know about 988? What would you tell other people?
988 is the national crisis lifeline that is supposed to be replacing the old crisis line, making it supposed to be easier for people to get support in every part of the world, not world, USA.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, great description. So think of it this way. What is 911 for? For emergencies, right? Okay, 988 is for mental health emergencies. So very specific resource for ourselves and everybody in our community to be able to access 988. If you are in a Spanish-speaking community, it's my understanding that they are pretty well resourced with Spanish. I don't think it's translators. I think that they're individuals who can communicate in Spanish is the way I understand it. I don't know if anybody has any better knowledge than I have. So, my apologies. It appears that my voice is maybe about to go out. So I'm going to do my very best to make it through the next hour, and we'll have some fun. If it goes out, then lucky y'all. So, just a moment. So why is this workshop needed? I want to talk a little bit, and I'm going to give you a bunch of statistics about compassion fatigue. I liked this one, okay? It says the expectation that we can be immersed in the suffering and loss daily and not be touched by it is an unrealistic and is expecting us to be able to work through water without getting wet, okay? We've been called to a very noble profession, whether we're getting paid for it or we are a volunteer that is a peer mentor. All of this is so very, very important, but it impacts each of us. And so that's why I believe this workshop is the most important workshop you will ever do in your career, because it's to help remind you truly of what you already know about taking care of yourself. So what happens when the psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, social workers, and all our volunteers that we rely on to treat our own mental health conditions become burnout themselves? Little feedback. What happens when we get burnout?
Fade away.
Yeah. Okay, we fade away, but what happens to our community? Their needs may not be met. And go ahead, we're gonna need to use the microphone so that our online audience hears a little bit of what we're saying. So what happens to the community when we get burnout?
They're not being served properly. They're not being served properly.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're not able to meet our own needs, how can we help them?
Mm-hmm. Just raise your hand, she'll bring the microphone to you. What happens to the community when we get burnout?
They find somebody else to help them.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully they find somebody else to help them. Okay. What else?
They turn to a negative coping skill.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they just turned to negative coping skills. Okay.
We're simply replaced.
Okay. We hope we get replaced. okay? We really do. I mean, if I'm the only workshop presenter ever available, that's not great, okay? But I'm thankful that I get to be here today and share with you what I think is important, okay? All right, thank you, Jamie. Thank you very much. So now it's time for our skit. So if our 3 players, actors, will come on up. Thank you, ladies, in advance. I appreciate you, okay? So here is the setting. The setting is a counselor, Miss Jamie, is at a local conference. During break, she checks her voicemail, and she has received a number of messages and urgent phone calls. One is from her office that a client has called because they are in crisis. We don't know what the crisis is, and they've requested a call back as quick as possible. The second message that she needs to respond to is a message from home regarding an issue with the car.
Oh my gosh, I really need to respond to these 2 calls.
You just, how would you, no, so each of you does number 1, and then each of you does 2, sorry.
I really need to respond to these 2 calls.
My car won't start. I don't know why she won't answer the phone. She knows I'm calling. The kids have to be picked up. What's going on that she's not answering her phone?
Oh my God, my day's. Oh my God, my day's terrible. What am I gonna do? I don't wanna be here. I don't know what to do. I really, really, really need someone to talk to. I really, really need someone to talk to. Please answer.
No, that's just your,
Hi, I'm returning your call.
oh, this one goes to the client, sorry.
I'm so glad you finally called me. What took you so long? I really need to talk to you. I really, really need to talk to you. Can I see you right now?
And then the cell phone dies.
I'm so frustrated. Why won't she answer the phone? Who's gonna pick up the kids from school? Oh, I just can't believe that she's not responding. I've texted and called, and she's not responding to either one. What's going on?
No, I'm just in a panic.
I'm panicking. I don't know what to do.
Either of you.
She's not answering. Oh my God, she's not answering. What do I do? I think I'm gonna die. I wanna go with my friend.
She always does this. Who's gonna pick up the kids? How am I gonna get them from school? I'm just so frustrated. I'm in a panic. I can't understand why she won't answer. Oh!
Thank you all.
Much better than you.
So here's the reality. Sometimes our cell phone battery dies, right? And when the cell phone battery dies, what do we think of this device? It's useless. What else do we think? It's unreliable. What else do we think of our cell phone? Well, here's the thing, that's a boundary that we need to set, right? Okay, but in the moment when we need it, okay, what do we think when our battery dies? Yes, ma'am. Why didn't I recharge my phone? I should have spent some time, maybe while I was in the workshop, I could have just plugged the phone in. There was an outlet there, but I didn't do it. And now the battery's dead. It's useless, it's unreliable, and I don't have the tool I need, right? That's what we think about our cell phone. Now, today, What do you think? Where do you think I'm going? I see a bunch of smiles in the room. I like that. Where do you think I'm going with this?
We have to recharge our battery.
We do, okay? Because we're talking about self-care. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the reality that we are in the mental health field, but mental health starts with you, okay? Now, we've all been on an airplane, and when you get on an airplane, they tell you, okay? Before you ever leave, these are the safety features. This is how you buckle your seatbelt. Emergency exits are here and here. And they tell you if something should happen and the cabin should lose air pressure, an oxygen mask will fall from above. And what is their next instruction when the oxygen mask falls from above? No, that's...
They tell you to put yours on before you put anybody else, before like you put your child's on, let's say.
Okay, so now let me ask all of you, in reality, if you're on an airplane and you're sitting between your two children, are you really gonna put yours on first, or are you gonna put it on your children first? Okay, so that's what we think, okay? We think, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I have to put it on my kids first. Well, I have been using this analogy for many, many years, and so I did a little research, and what I found is that you have a very, very short window of time. I mean, it's a matter of a handful of seconds to secure your oxygen mask before you lose consciousness. You're not gonna die, okay? But you need oxygen to be able to breathe. And if you don't secure your mask, you're going to lose consciousness, and somebody who did secure their mask is going to have to help you. So we're going to really start to look very critically at self-care today, because the least selfish thing you will ever do is take care of yourself. Because if you've taken care of yourself, you're not going to need somebody's assistance to take care of you, and you're going to have what you need to help somebody else. Only if you've done what you have to do to be ready for that. So number one, mental health begins with you. Next, there's no shame, only support. In this room, I really, really want us to let that sink in. No shame, only support. If you're here with a coworker, I hope when you guys get back to the office, you greet each other with no shame, only support, because the work you do is hard, okay? Nobody ever calls a counselor when life is good. They don't. They don't come to your programs when they're having a great day. They probably don't call when life is bad. Most of the time, they call when it's critical. When it's, I don't know what else to do. I don't know where else to turn. I need help. And because they are coming to us at such a critical state, we need to make sure that we understand that mental health begins with us, and there's no shame, only support. Because we are in a position of privilege to be able to come alongside and serve people who are trusting us at the moment that they are most needed and vulnerable. And lastly, I want you to be empowered, and I want you to see how you can empower others, okay? Because we're gonna walk out of this room and we're gonna feel good about us, and we're gonna let that ripple effect go to everybody else around us. Some of you may have noticed I have a couple of glitter jars up here. I personally love glitter. And what maybe you've heard the quote, throw kindness around like confetti. And I think confetti's kind of cool. But I personally say, let's throw kindness around like glitter. Because you know, glitter gets everywhere, right? Yeah, and it never goes away. So that's the opportunity that we're gonna have as we learn more about self-care today. So a few statistics. We all understand burnout is real, okay? But what impacts our burnout? Our age and gender, that's the socio-demographics, interpersonal, the coping skills we already know, the resources we already know, and our work or professional areas. So what supervision do we have? What personal therapy are we engaging in? How are we taking care of ourselves? This all impacts our burnout. Now, the next little visual I want to show you is a little bit different than the cell phone battery. And I don't know if you guys noticed, my hair's straight today, okay? Because I have this really cool tool that straightens hair. Oh, it won't turn on. I don't understand. I mean, that's plugged in the outlet. Does anybody know anything about these things? How do we, oh, it's not gonna work. Oh, anybody know what might be happening? Maybe the outlet doesn't work. Oh, of course, unreliable outlets. Can't believe it. Now, I don't understand. I mean, I have an extension cord, and so it would be long enough, but it's just not working. What do you think's happening?
You have it plugged in.
Oh, well, but it's tied around the cord.
It has to be tied in. I mean, it has to be plugged in.
Okay, I can't just tie it on the cord.
No.
I can't just be adjacent. Okay.
It's been overused.
Maybe, yeah, maybe the machine's just broken. This one's not. Okay, it's really not. But it's tied around the cord.
You have to plug the iron into the cord.
I have to.
You have to if you want it to work.
I have to do that.
You have to do that.
Okay. And see, here's the reality. A lot of us, we work in helping agencies, and so we are adjacent to the power. Oh, there's some giggles. Why are you giggling? We can't just be adjacent to a source of power? No. We actually have to be directly plugged into a resource that will give us power. And then it works. And here's the thing, okay? No shame, only support, but we all know it's true. This is true for myself included. We walk all day long adjacent to a power source, and sometimes we don't plug in. I see some bobbing heads. Does anybody need to have a little confession? We can do that now. I just don't have enough time to breathe. I heard you. I did. And we feel that way. But if we don't have enough time to take care of ourselves, what does that mean for our community? If we don't have enough time to take care of ourselves, what does that mean for our community?
It could mean that they are without oxygen because we're the one that was supposed to put that mask on them and we didn't take care of us, so now they're not being taken care of.
Okay, so it could mean that our community is in a more critical state because we didn't take care of ourselves, therefore we've got nothing to give them. Yeah, it could be. So, when you need to, because often we're running on empty, stop, fill up, plug into your power source. It's all there for you, okay? So the next section, I'm really gonna run through very, very quickly. You all have the PowerPoints, you can look at the statistics, but it has to do with this professional quality of life screening, okay? We're not gonna take time during the workshop. I provided a few paper copies here. It should be in your in the flash drive that you were given so that you can take some time and really fill that out. Be honest with yourself so that you can see what it is that, that you're feeling fulfilled in and what you're not. Being honest with yourself is most important. But compassion, exhaustion, and fatigue is real, okay? And it can actually lead to what we call secondary traumatic stress. Symptoms are overwhelmed, mood changes, lack of concentration, anger, resentment, cynical. You ever feel like that at work? I do. Burnout accumulates, okay? It is not a one and done. It accumulates, it piles on itself. So we want to understand that we need to do some self-care so that we're letting some of that go. I thought this was fascinating, that researchers have been researching burnout since the 1970s, okay? This isn't a new thing. Using technology is making it worse. Yeah, insomnia can be a symptom of burnout. Yeah, and stress and so many other things, okay? We need to get good sleep. So there is a brain-body connection. We're gonna do a lot of activities today so that we can engage our body and help our brain, okay? Some of them are emotional, self-perceptions, and some of them are physical. Have we eaten? Have we had good rest? Are we getting physical activity? So this professional quality screening of life is to help you identify where you have gaps. Okay? That's the purpose of that. Being honest with yourself is what's most important, right? So the next activity we're going to do is going to require the note card, okay? So grab one of the note cards. And this is a moment of truth for yourself. And I want you to identify 3 physical signs that you are approaching burnout, or that you are too stressed to be as effective as you could be. 3 physical signs, okay? I'll have a moment of vulnerability. I'll share with you my three, okay? I did this activity more than a decade, probably 2 decades ago. I keep and this is why I have you guys do it, is I keep my card in a place where I can kind of remind myself every once in a while what it is. My 3, when I've let my hair go too long and my roots are showing, that's 1, okay? Number 2, when I haven't gone and gotten my nails manicured. This is just for me, okay? And number 3 is when I am going through every drive-through I can find and not doing any kind of physical activity. Those are my 3, okay? So write down 3, and by physical signs, I mean 3 things that other people could see and identify for you if you weren't doing it for yourself. So 3 signs that you're approaching burnout, 3 signs that things are just getting off course a little bit. What are your 3 signs? And for those of you who are joining us virtually, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to identify 3 signs that you are approaching burnout, that you are not taking care of yourself and getting the oxygen that you need. Now, I want you to turn your card over. On the back side, I want you to list the answer to each of those. So for me, number 1 was I've let my hair go and my roots are showing. So the answer to that is I need to stop and I need to take time and I need to get my hair done. My number 2 is, again, I've not taken care of myself the way that's important for me. And so I need to stop and go get a manicure. And number 3 is I'm going through every drive-through in town and not doing any physical activity. So the answer for number 3 is I need to cook at home. I need to have a meal with my family. I need to go to the gym. Maybe I need to invite a friend to go with me for some emotional support. So 3 signs that things aren't where you want them to be, and the answer to all 3 of those signs. Now, at the bottom, I want you to write the date. Write today's date. Today is July 26, 2023. Okay? This card, I want you to keep this in a place where you can, and maybe it's in your calendar, and once a year you want to pull it out and go, oh yeah, this is important for me. And then here's a space for vulnerability. Is I want you to think, you don't have to say it out loud, but right now I want you to think of the name of a person that you love, loves you, that you can share this information with. And if you're not seeing it in yourself, they can go, hey, are you loving yourself enough? Because I noticed that one of your things maybe isn't where you say you want it to be. I have a loved one. He is taller than I am, so he often notices this before I do. And he doesn't point it out to shame me or to make me feel bad, but because I trusted him and I shared this with him, he's able to go, hey, hon, have you noticed? And I really appreciate that, because then I can go and do some self-care that I want to do. And so this is all about you being honest with yourself, and I hope that there's somebody in your life that you can identify that you feel like they could support you as well, and help. They can help you along. Already did the oxygen mask. Okay. So let's do some activities. These emotional activities, they fall in the category of positive affirmations, or really kind of understanding who you are, gratitude journal, and the mandalas, okay? And so the first one, you actually, if you'll get one of those mandala pages and turn it over on the back, or you can get an extra one, it doesn't matter. And I call these positive affirmations. And what I want you to do, so glad you guys like to color and draw, is I want you to, on the blank side, I want you to take your hand, put it on the paper, and trace your hand. I work with kids. I learned a long, long time ago, it's okay for things to be messy and not perfect. And it's also okay for you to get messy and not be perfect. Okay. So you have traced your hand on the back of the page. Now, in the very center of the hand, I want you to write, I am. For those of you online, get a piece of paper, trace your hand, and in the middle, write, I am. And then on each of the fingers, I want you to write a positive affirmation. I am pretty, I am smart, I am kind, I am creative. You decide what yours are. Online, if you're willing to share some of your positive affirmations, put those in the chat. Those of you in the room, what are you putting on your fingers? I am what? Just shout them out.
Loyal.
I am loyal.
Resilient.
I am resilient. I am funny. I am compassionate. Anything online? No? Okay. I hope you guys, I'm hopeful.
Good enough.
I'm good enough. Maybe you said helpful. Maybe I heard that wrong.
I said helpful.
Oh, okay. Good.
That's helpful too.
Hopeful and helpful. Great. And just like your index card, I hope you will put your positive affirmations somewhere that you can review them regularly. But what I love about this particular activity is what goes with you everywhere. Yes, okay? And so I want you to put down your writing utensil, and I want you to take a moment. I want you to look at your hand. We're not writing on our hands, okay? We're just going to visualize. In the middle, we're going to visualize the I am. And then on each of the fingers, I want you to visualize your positive affirmations. And anywhere you are, you can remind yourself of your positive affirmations. And the amazing thing is, like we did one hand, what's left? Yeah, we have more fingers, okay? And so sometimes people are like, oh, I don't remember what that one was. It's okay. Come up with a new one. Because you are not limited to 5 positive affirmations. And you're not even limited to 10. Because you can go through your fingers time and time and time and time again. You can build on those positive affirmations. You can add to those positive affirmations. You can, whatever your setting is, think of what is positive at this moment about me in this situation. And it might be that I am resilient in this situation. Next, this is what I call the buffet activity. If you've never done this for yourself, I want to encourage you to do it. We're not going to take a lot of time today. And this is something that I also do with clients very, very often. So I want you to imagine an all-you-can-eat buffet. Okay? This is your own personal all-you-can-eat buffet. And every dish on your buffet was prepared for you by somebody in your world. Your mom has put dishes on your buffet. Your dad has put dishes on your buffet. Some of the key teachers and coaches have put dishes on your buffet. Your ex has put dishes on your buffet. Your current relationship has put dishes on your buffet. Your best friend, okay, and your worst enemy. They've all put dishes on your buffet. And some of them are trust and love and kindness. And some are traumatic memories and hurt and pain and fear. And every day when you get up, you get a clean plate and you go down your buffet and you serve yourself from what's on your buffet. What you need to do is you need to identify what is right now on my buffet. What am I feeding myself from? Okay? Because you want to identify what's there, what you're feeding yourself, so that tomorrow when you wake up and you get a new plate, you can go and you can decide, I can't not feed myself that yet, but maybe I can put a smaller portion. And that good stuff, man, can I have a double helping today? Because I need it. Okay? We need to know what's on our buffet, what we're feeding ourselves from, not to judge those who put things on our buffet. Because the truth of the matter is they've all got their own buffets, and we don't know what's on their buffet. So we're not going to judge them, okay? But we're going to be honest with ourselves of what we're feeding ourselves. And the other thing that we're going to now realize is our buffet's not complete. Because as we go and we're feeding ourselves, if we realize, this is missing from my buffet, then we're going to go prepare it for ourselves. And it might be some self-care and self-compassion and self-kindness. Okay? That way, tomorrow, when we get up and we get our clean plate and we go to our buffet and we start serving ourselves, we can go, oh, I know that's still there, but I know what's coming. I know what's a little bit further down, and I really want some of that. So we got to get less of this on the plate so I've got more room for the stuff that I know that is important for me, okay? You have the power to add to your buffet for the entire rest of your life by doing things like today's workshop, okay? By reading a book, listening to a podcast. Every experience you have in life has the potential to add to your buffet. And you get to determine what some of those dishes are. Any question about that buffet image? Okay. Who has ever done a gratitude journal? I want some feedback. Tell me about how you felt. You don't have to tell me what was in your journal, but how'd you feel when you did a gratitude journal?
It wasn't necessarily a journal as it was a worksheet, but I do multiple worksheets.
Mm-hmm.
So I really felt after doing the activity that it was helpful to see what is in my life that I have to be thankful for, so that I can look at all the things that I do have, the positives that are in my life. So it was really helpful for me.
Okay. And you are correct. It doesn't have to be in, some kind of a bound notebook. It can just be a worksheet. It can be a Post-it note. You can take a Post-it note or a postcard and write what you're grateful for and stick it on the mirror. Okay. Somebody else, your experience with a gratitude journal. Please raise your hand. She'll bring the mic. Or if you're online, just type it in the chat. Please raise your hand to share your experience with the gratitude journal.
Each night before I go to bed, I go through in my head everything that I'm thankful for, and it just helps me. get
How
a
does
better
it help
night's
you?
rest. I fall right asleep.
It helps you fall asleep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an experience. I like sleep. Somebody else.
No, I was just saying I like sleep.
Try a gratitude journal.
It helps put things into perspective. It kind of helps. I feel like I tend to focus on all the negative things and the things that I haven't done in the day. It helps show that I've done actually quite a bit in the day.
Good. Okay, so it highlights for you that actually you had a productive day. I love that. Somebody else, your experience with a gratitude journal. If you've never had an experience with a gratitude journal, here's where I want you to begin, okay? And you can write it, you can take it in notes, you can put it on one of the Post-it notes, something like that. In fact, do one of the Post-it notes, write, I am grateful for, and when you get home, I want you to stick that on your mirror. And in the morning, when you're brushing your teeth, you say, I'm grateful for, and you fill in the blank. And at night, when you're washing your face and brushing your teeth to go to bed, again, you say, I am grateful for, and you fill in the blank. Oh, we have some online responses.
We do. I have Patty who shared that she has a collage journal and she writes 3 quick things that she's grateful for each morning, and it helps her look for things that bring her joy during the day. And then Helen shared that she loves gratitude lists. She does daily blessings, specific things that happened that day that are positive, and general blessings, being able to walk, etc.
Okay, so specific blessings, something that happened that day, and general blessings like being able to walk. Okay, anybody else want to share? Okay, well, we'll move forward. The next one is the fun mandalas. All right, I know some of you guys have been coloring. Who wants to hold up what they're doing to share their mandala? Let's see them. Y'all look around the room. Keep them up. Those are beautiful. Okay, round of applause for the audience. Okay, good job, y'all. Those are beautiful. Okay, so the mandala is an activity about being centered. Okay, so that's why they're all kind of in this circular shape, and I just want a little bit of feedback. You are going to have to put your marker, your pencils down for this, your twistables, okay? How do you feel when you are coloring something like a mandala? How do you feel? Okay, great. Yes, please raise your hand and we'll get the microphone to you.
I feel relaxed. I love coloring or like just doodling and drawing. That's one of my favorite things.
Okay, the first thing you said was, I feel relaxed. That's fantastic. Who doesn't love to feel relaxed?
I feel content.
Because?
Because it kind of reminds me of being a little kid where I was, things were less complicated. And I can put all my focus in it, and it's something I can control. So I'm content in that moment.
Right there. I'm content because it's something I can control. Oh, that was a great point.
Kimberly shared that it makes her feel calm and at ease.
Calm and at ease. A couple of hands over here.
I'm mindful to the moment.
Mindful in the moment. And how does that feel? Peaceful. That feels peaceful. No, share, please.
I was going to say peaceful, just at peace.
Because?
Like I'm always with my job, it's just very chaotic at times. And so just being able to just have a moment to just be at peace and just to really concentrate and focus on this. Yeah.
Yeah. So many things are outside our circle of control, our environment, our job, the weather, whatever, okay? But taking and this is a choice that you get to make, helps you feel calm. Good. Somebody else.
Yes, so a little bit of peace, but it also allowed me to escape from the everyday stress and just dealing with life, and I can just be in my own little space and just be free. You know, whatever is on here, whatever comes to mind, it flows in the art.
Yeah, it flows. You're free. I love it. Now, if you remember, this segment is talking about the brain-body connection. And so you're choosing with your body to visually look at the mandala and to physically pick up the color that you chose and to color in that space, okay? And then by doing this physical thing, every one of you have described mentally, it's calming, it's peaceful, it's relaxing. Love it.
Yeah, Emily shared it distracts her from stressful things in her day.
Distracts from stressful things, okay? Now, I hope every one of you for the rest of your life will be like, I think I want to go color a mandala. Now, the wonderful thing is we have this, wonderful World Wide Web, and you can just look up free mandalas, and you can find lots. They come in a few different levels of difficulty. Some are very simple. Some are very intricate. And I might have given them all away, put them all out there. Some are very, very, very intricate. And so it's all about what your need is. And so identify what your need is, what your level of need is, and then seek that resource that will help you in that moment. So that's the mandala. Now let's talk about some physical activities. Again, we're talking about the brain-body connection. And so this next activity, you're also going to need a blank piece of paper. So if you will remember, you drew your hand on the back of your mandala, so you might need to get either another piece of paper that's on the table and or just a piece of paper in your own notebook, okay? Or you can use a note card, okay? This is not going to require any amount of space. You can use as much or as little space as you have. In fact, maybe use a Post-it note, okay? Try it on a Post-it note. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have you do the activity, and then I'm going to have to tell you why the amount of space is not important, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is called a non-dominant hand drawing. So I want you to pick up your pen, pencil, whatever you have, and with the hand you normally write with, I want you to write your name. Just write your name. And then I want you to do a little doodling. Heart, star, flower, whatever doodling you choose to do with the hand you normally write with. Yeah, this is with the hand you write with. Are you sure? Because I think we're here till 2:45.
For some reason, my little sheet says 2:13. I apologize if it's different for you.
Can anybody confirm that? Is this workshop? Okay, okay. So I think we've still got like 35 minutes. She was holding up the you got 5 minutes left. And I'm like, oh, I gotta race
We're
it.
good till 2:45. We had you down for 60 minutes, but you're fine to go until 2:45.
Okay. I mean, we can bump it up. It's no problem. We'll work on it. Okay, so now I want you to put whatever you're writing with in the other hand. This is your non-dominant hand. And in your non-dominant hand, and everybody goes, oh, it's so sloppy. That's not what I want you to focus on, okay? So I want you to write the same thing you wrote before and doodle the same thing you did before, but focus on what's happening in your brain. So with your non-dominant hand, write your name. Notice what's happening in your brain. Yeah, if you're ambidextrous, this isn't a great skill for you. But for the most of us, this is very impactful. With your non-dominant hand, doodle. Same thing, heart, star, flower, whatever. Notice what's happening in your brain. Notice your focus. Notice your breathing. So I want some feedback. What are you noticing about your focus? What are you noticing about your breathing? Hold on, she's coming with the mic. Online, what are you noticing about your focus? What are you noticing about your breathing?
So with my non-dominant hand, my focus was more on what I was doing versus the dominant hand is just free. Yeah, so that was one thing. And my breathing was, I would say, more controlled. Yeah.
Okay, so you noticed that you had a tighter focus and more controlled breathing. Anybody else? What's your experience?
Kind of what she said, like I was concentrating harder. And then also too, like I noticed I took like a deep breath. I was like, when I got done, I was like, oh, I did it.
Yeah, you took a big deep breath. Anybody else? What's your experience?
I held my breath.
Okay. Okay, online.
We had two responses. One focused more with my non-dominant hand, and the second was allows me to breathe more intensely and more directed at what's actually happening.
Yeah, okay. So here's why I had you do it on like a Post-it note. Because we've all been in meetings when things start getting discussed and we're not really listening to what's there because we're already thinking about what our next 14 responses are going to be. And then we're thinking about our laundry list of chores that we've got to do before we even get home and get to kick our shoes off, okay? And so our brain starts getting in this kind of out of control spiral. And what I want you to understand is you now have a skill that you can do anywhere at any time. You don't have to talk. You don't have to have a lot of space, okay? You can grab a Post-it note and you can put your utensil, whatever you write with, in your non-dominant hand. And for just a moment, you can write your name and do any kind of doodle. And you can bring yourself into focus. You can manage your breathing. And then you put it back in your dominant hand, you focus on your moment, where you are, what you're doing. All right, I just heard a, How does this feel? Yes, ma'am.
I was like,
Oh, okay, I got one up here too. How did that feel? Oh, okay. Relief, empowered, okay? There's something you can do. Yeah. All right. Now, no, please. She gave me 30 minutes back, so.
No, I was just gonna say that it kind of reminds me of like a grounding technique, you know, like that you would maybe use with a client of like, let's bring yourself back into ourselves if you're kind of lost.
Yes, it is 100% a grounding technique. This is something you can do with your clients. Teach them. That way when they are in their life, if they need to put whatever they're writing with in their non-dominant hand, give themselves a non-dominant hand doodle moment so that they can then focus on what they really need to focus on. Maybe it'll help them calm some anxiety because most of you noted my breath changed. Either I took a deeper breath, I held my breath, I focused, something happened in there, okay? You guys are welcome to take pictures of all of this, but I believe you have been given all of the PowerPoints on a flash drive or a link or something? No? Oh, online, thank you, okay. You've been given all the PowerPoints online, and so you have access to all of this if you need something, but please feel free to take pictures as needed. Okay, this next activity requires physical touch. If you are willing to touch and be touched by somebody near you, then you can partner up. If that is just not what your need is today, you can do this individually, okay? And so you can do it with a partner, but you will be touching hands, okay? That's all we're touching is hands. But if that's not where you are, that's, again, no shame, only support. That's great. I do want to teach you both ways because there are going to be times that even if you're with a partner today, when you're not with a partner and want you to be able to do this activity. So most of us probably have a lotion, and so I would say get a lotion, or what I noticed is in your wonderful little treat bag that they gave us, there's a hand sanitizer. Okay? So if you have a lotion in your purse or your bag that you want to use, go ahead and do that. Get that out. If you do not, I have just a few. Who wants to use lotion and you don't have one? Okay? Somebody has lotion? Okay? Okay, so with a partner, what we're going to do is we're going to massage each other's hands. And both people will get to be the giver and the receiver, okay? So if you're going to do it with a partner, Jamie, do you want to do it with a partner? Sure. Come on up. I'm going to apologize in advance. My hands are like ice cubes. You don't have to take your those off.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
That one especially.
Okay. And so with your partner, if you'll notice, okay, so there's some lotion in her hand, and I'm going to take her one hand, and I'm going to put both my hands over it, okay? And I'm just going to slowly kind of start to distribute the lotion. What are you noticing?
Circular motion.
Okay.
Fingertips.
What do you notice about my touch?
It's light.
Okay, so my touch is a little bit light. How does that feel?
Comforting.
It feels comforting? Yes, yes, absolutely, with your partner. Go right ahead. So a little feedback. What do you notice about somebody touching? If you're the receiver, how does it feel to have somebody touch you and massage your hand? It feels relaxing. I think I lost y'all. But you're laughing and giggling. That's wonderful. Okay, for those of you, just stay right here. For those of you who are going to do this for yourself, and everybody needs to learn this, so I want you to actually just massage your hands, okay? And it can be whatever strength you want. When you're doing it for somebody else, you want to be mindful of your touch. She said it's kind of a light touch. Okay, but you want to be able to connect with them, all right? That's important. When you are massaging yourself, and you can do this with hand sanitizer, okay? What you want to do is really think about what feels good for you. Yeah. Do a little aromatherapy while you're at it. Just inhale. Oh, yeah, I know. It's wonderful. But now, really, just kind of go through each of your fingers. Okay? How does that feel?
Tension releasing.
You've got some tension releasing? Somebody else? How does it feel?
Would y'all like me to grab the microphone?
What do you notice? Even just massaging your own hand. One of the things I notice is that some of my fingers are a little more tense or sensitive than the others. Yeah. What do y'all notice?
My fingers are cold.
You notice your fingers are cold.
My fingers are cold.
How does it feel though? How does it then feel to those cold fingers? Does that,
It warms it up.
okay, stir some circulation?
It warms it up.
Mhm. I love the giggles. Somebody else. How does it, either how did it feel to give a massage or receive a massage, or how does it feel when you massage your own hand?
When it was done, when she did my hands, it was very relaxing, and you forget. Oh, I remember, like when you get your nails done and they do all that.
Mm-hmm.
It feels really nice. And then when you're doing your own, you've forgotten to take that time. I use hand sanitizer and lotion all day, but it's just a quick. But now to really focus on it, it's a difference.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You're totally making my point there. Because we do. We use hand sanitizer and lotion all the time. But if you use this as just a minute for a little bit of self-care, for a little bit of, oh, that feels nice. You have the power to do that for yourself all the time. Okay? Mm-hmm.
Can you ask like your office mate, hey, can you just like massage my hand? 'Cause it doesn't feel the same when I do it as when she did it.
Okay, so there was a huge difference for you in terms of somebody else did that for me and it felt good. Okay, the reason it feels good is because as human beings, touch is a very powerful thing. Okay, and several of you noted like, oh yeah, when I'm getting a manicure and she massages my hand, it's so wonderful. I heard all the giggles. I love the giggles, okay? That's the good stuff in life. And we want to do more and more and more of that. And is it okay to ask your office mate to do it for you? I say yes. No, don't be kidding. I say yes, but always if you're a receiver, be willing to be a giver. Okay?
One thing when you said that, we don't touch enough. You know, we don't hug enough. We don't, just a simple, nothing, you know, just natural. And like I shared the last time being in the classroom, children are not getting enough hugs.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're just going out of their way to get those attention, I would say attention-seeking hugs, because they're all on top of each other. It's just, they're playing, but at home, a lot of parents, they don't know how to hug. If we didn't come from a home where that was in the family, it's not natural. You want to do it, but it's hard. I wasn't a hugger growing up. My mom's side of the family was, my dad's was not. So it's really hard to make that balance. So same with touching. It feels funny when people touch us.
It might feel funny. And I would say, especially in our post-COVID world, every one of us kind of thinks twice about shaking hands and hugging now. And heaven forbid any of us sneeze in public, right? It gives me a heart attack. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. It's just like black pepper or something is near. And so, but yeah, I'm so glad you said, would it be okay for me to ask my coworker? Yes. Okay, so that we can have this moment. It's about self-care. And remember, this is that next part, is also sharing it with them. Okay, and having this self-care moment that it's for you, you share it with them, you're doing it for yourself, they're learning about it. This is what I call the win-win-win. It's good for you, it's good for them, it's good for the world at large. Okay. That's the empower yourself, empower others. Thank you so much for the perfect lead in to the next part. Okay. So I'm going to share with you guys. Oh, before I do, just a reminder, there's Post-it notes. If you've got some favorite quotes, if you've been writing them down, we want to put those on the back wall. Okay, it's going to be really important that we have lots of quotes on the back wall. There's an activity coming up, so if you've got a few more, you can just raise them up. Jamie can get them. We'll put them on that back wall. If you want to go walk them back there, go right ahead. If you haven't yet written any, then write some on those Post-it notes and get them on the wall. Okay, but next, I want to talk about something, and in my family, we call it the big three. And the big three are really, really important in my family. And these are 3 questions that we ask ourselves and we ask each other. The first one is, what is the best thing that you did for yourself today? okay? Because it starts with us, because we've got to get our oxygen before we do anything else. So number one, what is the best thing that you have done for yourself today? Anybody want to share? Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
The best thing that I did today was pick up the extra mandala and start coloring that because we discovered extra twistables on the table behind us, and that brought me more joy than I expected.
Love it. So the best thing you did today was color a mandala. Love it. Yeah, and you got extras. Wonderful. Good for you. Somebody else, what's the best thing you did for yourself today?
So this might sound cheesy, but whenever I was looking at the choices for this afternoon, you had some competition, but I think coming to this was a good choice because I almost was like, I'm not going to put myself first. I'm going to go learn other things to take back to my community, right? Then I was like, my coworkers are going to go to those, so I'm going to put myself first and come to this today.
Good for you. Thank you. The best thing you did for yourself today was come here. Somebody else.
I think the best thing was that I listened to my manager for the very first one that we went to. That was very helpful dealing with trauma. And then this one to just reinforce what I already know, but how do you get to actually do it?
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay. So the best thing you did for yourself today was listen to your manager. There's some online comments, I think. Jamie.
Emily said she let herself have an extra 20 minutes of rest this morning.
Ah, yes. Best thing you did was rest. Good. Okay.
I hit that snooze button like 4 times.
Okay. Yeah. So question number one, what's the best thing you did for yourself today? You got to answer that one before you go to the next one. And the next one is, what's the best thing you did for somebody else today? You just paid me a huge compliment. Okay? So one of the things that you've done for somebody else today is you gave a compliment. Somebody else, what is something that you have done for somebody else today?
I listened to someone today.
Okay. But that was for you. Was your listening allowing them to be heard?
Yes.
Okay. And so you did some active listening to make sure that somebody else felt heard.
Yes.
Good. That is one of the best things that we can do for other people. Yeah. What's something that you have done for somebody else today?
I gave my cookie away.
You gave your cookie to
And
somebody.
it was a good cookie.
That is something kind that you did.
I took his lunch tray to the trash and scraped off his plate.
Look. And you know what you said? It was really simple. That's the point. Okay? We really complicate things that we don't have to. It's very simple.
I took pictures for someone today.
You took pictures for someone today. Fabulous. Okay?
I met someone new today, and they're are getting a new EMR, and she's here. And we were the first in the state of Texas to use that electronic medical record, so I shared that even though it looks like a monster, it's all going to be good, and it's going to work out.
Okay. So you encouraged someone today. Okay? I think we've got some online comments.
Barbara said she paid it forward and bought someone lunch.
She bought someone lunch. Wonderful. And then, so question 1's, what's the best thing you did for yourself today? Question 2, what's something you did for somebody else today? It doesn't have to be the best. I think we phrase it a little bit awkwardly, but what's an act of kindness that you've done today? And number 3 is, what have you done for your relationships today? This can be your personal relationship. This can be your work relationship. What is something that you've done for your, okay, there's some back here.
I told you I wake up at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm super. There's a lot.
That's
in
okay.
the afternoon. But I have not been ignoring text messages today from people who have been. Usually throughout the day, I'm like, I'll get that later, and then by the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to get that at all.
Okay.
So today, I've actually been communicating with people.
Okay. So in your relationships, you've been communicating. Okay.
Instead of ignoring.
Kimberly sent affirmations to her cousin as she wasn't having a good day.
Okay. Somebody sent affirmations to a family member to encourage them. Yeah. Anybody else? What's something you've done for someone else or for your relationships today?
My son has been homesick this week, and with me being gone, that's rough. So I've been sending him text messages, just little things to let him know I'm thinking about him.
Yeah. Just that little something.
So mine's the total opposite. My brother just had he had surgery about a month ago. So today is the first day I haven't texted him. And I haven't bothered him because I am helicopter brother. But it's the first time that I haven't responded to him. And he texted me and was like, "Are you okay?" Like, no, I'm good. I'm giving you space.
Okay. All right. So sometimes in our relationships, one of the healthy things we can do is give space. Okay. And obviously he noticed and he's like, yeah. And he sent out that thing for you. But it's about building the relationship, okay? So number one, what's the best thing you did for yourself? Number two is for someone else. And I really love it when those things are strangers, okay? Like that I paid it forward and bought someone lunch, that type of thing. Or you met someone who has a new system and you encourage them. And then number three are your relationships, your personal or work relationships. I really like thinking about the big three. In our home, long time ago, when this came about, I would have a little bit of anxiety driving home because I'd be like, I haven't done my three things, and I know somebody's going to ask me about it because that's what we do. And so, and it just made me much more mindful of, I haven't done anything for myself today. I'd start going, in the car, I'd start going through it. What have I done for myself today? And I'd be like, oh, I need to do something. And now you're all equipped for something you can do for yourself. Color a mandala, put on your lotion, and give yourself just a 30-second massage, hand massage, okay? Any of those things that make you feel good about what you're doing. What have you done for somebody else? And then what have you done in your relationships? And sometimes it is reaching out, and sometimes it's giving space. Okay, now I love this next activity, and I call it Post-it note proclamations, okay? And so we've all been writing these quotes that we've put on Post-it notes in the back, and what you all get to do, I'm sorry, virtual friends, that you're not with us, but you can do this wherever you are with your family in your workspace, okay? So we've all written a positive quote on a Post-it note. Okay, we identified a high traffic area, which is right by the door, all right? And so now you can get up and you can go choose one of those Post-it notes. Just pick one. Pick it because you like the color, pick it because you like the handwriting, or just reach out and randomly pick one. That's right, get up out of your seats, get to go to the back wall. Some people are like, woof, they're racing, okay? And pick a Post-it note. If you choose to do something like this in your work or home space, then you really want to encourage everybody to very regularly to leave one and take one. So this is very much a give and take space, but you want to add some fun quotes to the Post-it note proclamations, and then you want to pick one at any time that you need it. Is there anything online? Did anybody share any quotes or anything online? No, that's okay. That's no problem. It's a little bit of a challenge with the virtual. Okay, Jamie, we're going to need the microphone. Who wants to share their proclamation? The one they picked up, or their quote, or whatever it is.
I picked up, we are not victims of our situation. We are the architects of it.
Okay. That's nice.
The final stage of healing is using what happens to you to help other people.
Oh, that's nice. Anybody want to just read what the Post-it note says?
Dream as if you will live forever, live as if you will die today.
Ah.
Closed mouth don't get fed.
Oh, closed mouths do not get fed. You have to express what your needs are. Absolutely.
Just keep swimming.
Yep, Dory. That's some profound wisdom there. Just keep swimming.
Doing my best may look different every day, but my best is always enough.
Ah, I love that. My best is always enough.
You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending, by C.S. Lewis.
Very nice.
You can't get a charge from 2 dead batteries.
Can't get a charge from 2
I
dead
thought that
batteries.
was going a different direction.
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
And this one is my life is my message.
I like that. My life is my message.
You must do the things you think you cannot do.
Oh, very nice. You must do the things you think you cannot do. Okay. So, in the interest of time, we're going to move forward. If anybody really, really wants to share yours, just tell us. We'll let you, but I'm mindful here. I brought a couple of glitter jars. These are real glitter jars that really sit on my desk and or on my shelf in my office. Okay? How many of you are new to the idea of a glitter jar? Don't be ashamed. No shame. Okay, only help in this room. Okay, so here is, this is one that I did with my coworkers with my team at work. Okay, and I put the recipe for the glitter jar here. Now, these are made in Voss water bottles. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. This is simply a bottled water that you can buy at any local convenience store, because I bought this one yesterday. Okay? Enjoy the water. Then peel the labels off very carefully. You might need to use some Goo Gone, get the labels off. And you have a perfect bottle container to create a glitter jar. And here's what you do, okay? Once you've enjoyed the water, okay, you have an empty jar. You need to put, so you need to have a clear container. You need to use the clear Elmer's glue. I have done some experimenting, and I'm here to tell you only the clear Elmer's glue works, okay? Whatever your container is, you need to put, I say if it's a small container, adjust it, but in this size container, like about an inch of clear glue. Clear Elmer's glue. This all needs to be done in one setting relatively quickly, okay? So you need to gather all your supplies in advance and then sit down and assemble. So about an inch of clear Elmer's glue. And then on top of the Elmer's glue, the first thing you put is the very fine glitter, okay? So we've got small or fine, then we've got medium, and then we've got large or chunky, okay? So on top of the glue, the very first thing you put is the fine glitter. Next, you put the medium, and then last, you put the chunky on top, okay? So this one I did with my team at the office in one of our team building activities. This one I did on vacation with about 8 friends of a variety of genders and ages and stages of life, okay? And the adults loved it as much as you all have loved the mandalas today. Okay, so one of the things I want you to notice, okay, is when you shake up your glitter jar, watch how very quickly the great big chunky glitter settles, okay? And that's because it was the furthest away from the glue. All right, and this is what's great, is if you're having a moment where you're frustrated, you're anxious, you're whatever, you shake up your glitter bottle and you sit and you're like, just take a deep breath, and now I'm gonna exhale as my glitter settles. Okay, and then you'll notice that the medium glitter comes right after that, but what's still floating around? Yeah, it's that really fine glitter, okay? And so you take all the time you need to really think about what's most important for me to focus on in this moment? And maybe it's the glitter. Maybe it's I just need to look at this and not think about my email box. But I know I've got to respond to that one email. And then start to give yourself a moment to think through whatever it is you need. I love the glitter jar. This is about reducing anxiety. It's about shifting your focus. It's about settling yourself down, whatever you need in that moment. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I didn't finish my the recipe. So once you've got those things, then very quickly you use warm water. And I'm going to tell you, with my staff as well as my friends, we used tap water. So you just turn the hot faucet on. Don't scald yourself if you got one of those kinds of faucets, okay? But you fill it really about 9/10 of the way. Put your lid back on, and you got to shake it until your recipe is well mixed, okay? And that might be several minutes until everything's well mixed, and then you go ahead and fill it up the rest of the way. All right, and the last thing is, when you are satisfied with your mix and your water, is you super glue or Gorilla Glue your lid on there, especially if it's going to be in your office, because I promise you kids are going to try and undo it, and or it's going to get dropped everywhere. I will tell you, because I have some in the office that, well, we've disposed of them now, that the lids have broken, and once that breaks, you need you can take it home and it can be an adult-only glitter jar, but you want to, that's something you want to not have in your office. So. Mm-hmm. Oh, she's just saying she wished she had super glued the lid on things that she did in her office. So yeah, that part is very important. You can find this recipe online and do it anytime. All right, we've got like 30 seconds left, and so I'm not gonna have really time to hear some of your favorite things, but you can come up to me afterwards and share them. And I heard, this is earlier when we were talking about oxygen, somebody said, I just don't have time. So the last thing I'll say is schedule it. One of the quotes, I don't know if it's a favorite quote, but it's a quote I use all the time. It says, that which can be done at any time will be done at no time. Okay? So if you need to schedule a 15-minute break every day during your schedule, do so. Put it on your calendar, set an alarm, do what you need to do, take time, and get your oxygen. And any questions? That's it. Thank y'all. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Janie. We appreciate you.
Don't trip.
Oh, don't trip. Yes, I might fall backwards. Please make sure that you scan the barcode at the back of the room. It is on the door on the inside and on the outside. Make sure that you keep track of the workshops that you have attended on your tracking sheet. We are going on break now. Refreshments are available in the atrium. Please be back to your next breakout session by 3 o'clock. Also, there's Ms. Sherry made copies of the ProQual so that everybody can have a copy of it. And it's at the back table on the left-hand side back here.
Great, thank you. In terms of resources, please leave the large green sign-in sheets on the table. I will take those and I will connect with you. The smaller ones you are welcome to take and share all you would like. The mandalas, if they're extra on the tables, again, you're welcome to take those. In terms of the twistables, if you will please leave those, I would greatly appreciate that. So I have those resources to use, as well as whatever's left of the Post-it notes. Thank you.